Apple begins selling the factory-unlocked version of the iPhone 4S in the US. iOS 5.0.1 gets released, but don't expect these news to be in the cool section. And Apple doesn't seem to have plans to port Siri on older devices, and we tell you why. All this and more coming up right now. Hello everybody, I'm Jaime Rivera and welcome to the Pocket Now iReview, the show we go through all this week's cool and the not so cool inside the world of Apple's iOS devices. Let's start this week off with the cool. Apple continues to expand their grip in the United States, and this time they're offering their iPhone 4S as a factory-unlocked device on Apple stores and online. What this means is that you could actually travel abroad with your device and use it with another prepaid SIM card in any of the countries that you travel to if you find that roaming is too expensive. And it is too expensive. In my case, that's what I use. So this carrier-unlocked version of the iPhone 4S is really interesting, though it's not going to work on every carrier. Sadly, you can only use it on AT&T, and obviously, yes, this device does work on T-Mobile, but it won't work on Verizon or Sprint, even though it's pretty much the same world phone. But still, you could pay $600 for the iPhone 4S 16GB model, $700 for the iPhone 4S 32GB model, and $800 for the 64GB model. Obviously, this is expensive, but it's only for the people that really need it. You can still go for the same planned device for $200 or probably a little more on any carrier with a 2-year contract if you don't like the factory unlocked version. Speaking of Apple stores, Apple has just debuted a new service called EasyPay, which allows you to bring your iOS device to any store and buy anything you want without needing to use a cashier. You could actually just pay for your device or whatever you want with your iOS device right there, and then just pick it up at the store or buy it from home and then pick it up eventually. It's kind of a neat service that it seems that Apple's bringing to the table because you don't have to wait in line to buy your device whenever lines get really big for you to buy your new iPad or iPhone when it comes out in the future. Now, it does seem to be interesting that Apple's figuring out ways to make consumer experience more convenient when using stores. Really good idea. Hacking has been quite busy lately on iOS because, first of all, famous hacker and developer Charlie Miller just showed us how to run unassigned code on your iPhone with a couple of really interesting leaks and exploits that he found out there. Now, interesting enough, you can expect that the guy lost his developer account once Apple figured out what he did. Aside from that, it does seem that somebody figured out how to pull this really neat band on top of the keyboard that allows you to bring those suggestions that are actually controlling the keyboard for new suggested text whenever you're typing the wrong word, just like you do in Android. Now, it's a really interesting hack that does not need for you to jailbreak your device, so hit the link in the description as we show you how to get it done. And while it also seems that somebody figured out how to bring panoramic photos for iOS devices, this does require a jailbreak, so hit the link in the description for details on how to get it done also. And well, Consumer Reports is at it again. Initially, they weren't recommending the iPhone 4 because of AntennaGate, but now they are telling everybody that the iPhone 4S has no problems with the antenna. Kind of ironic because they end up their article telling everybody to buy an Android phone and not an iPhone. But still, in my personal experience, the iPhone 4 that I bought initially did not bring any AntennaGate issues, but after I dropped the phone for the first time, it started having AntennaGate problems. So make sure you buy a bumper still because it does seem to have to do with handling and not necessarily manufacturing. What's next? Well, the question is, will it blend? That is the question. That does it for the cool. Let's continue on with the not so cool. iOS 5.0.1 was released to the masses, but why is this in the not so cool section? Well, first of all, iPhone 4S customers are not having any better battery life, and hey, even iPhone 4 customers are now complaining of problems with battery. So it does seem that people are having problems with the battery, problems with FaceTime, some people are having problems with iMessage, caller IDs, and just about everything. So you'd think that Apple would have figured it out, but it seems that they haven't. They need to go back to the drawing board. And well, the saddest news this week is that it seems that Apple won't be offering their Siri service to other iOS applications in the past. And ironic enough, it does include the iPad 2, which has pretty much the same specs, only in a larger housing. So I'm not really sure what Apple's saying that they won't support it now. iFixit came on record recently to tell everybody that the iPhone 4S brings a new proximity sensor that actually turns on a little more and allows the phone to detect when it gets on your ear for you to be able to talk talk to Siri. Now, interesting enough, I mean, what's wrong with the fact that you could actually bring Siri to older devices and just not have that feature when you raise your phone up to your ear and be able to talk to Siri? That's all Apple has to do. So it does seem that this is the crown jewel for the iPhone 4S. It's pretty much the only selling point, so sad news for us old customers. That's it for today's show. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Jaime Rivera. Remember to give us a thumbs up if you like what you saw. That's it for now.